What's up, guys, and welcome to the first game of the Bridon League. This is going to be a series of best of ones for today. We are currently in Group A, featuring Balkan Bears calling on YellowSubmarine, as well as Black and Moscow 5 International. Yes, that's the last one. So they will be playing over the course of the next few days, series of best of ones, in order to shape up the group. But here on HeflaTV 1, we're going to bring you all of today's games, just featuring YellowSub, BBC, and Black. I'm Mike Loris, got Grandis here as well. Well, BBC, they're certainly going through some transformations. They've been shuffling around with quite a few players, man. Hope they do well.
Definitely. I actually haven't seen them with the new roster, and YellowSubmarine are also pretty new to me, so it should be interesting at the very least. YellowSubmarine are a pretty new addition to the tournament, a last-minute one, as it was supposed to be basically unknown, but apparently they had some sort of roster issue, disbanded the team, and then are going to reshuffle back into teams that are also in the Bridon League. It's an absolute mess. Interesting enough, we're actually going to see a Windranger second ban by Balkan Bears.
That is, yeah, pretty interesting. You see the Juggernaut, and that's a hero that is seeing so much more play, and first banning him out. I'm still not convinced that he's first ban, but he is extremely powerful, so I will give them that. Windranger is, that has to be a respect thing. Like, it's, I think I've casted YellowSubmarine once, if not like twice in the past. I mean, I recognize some of these names, but this has to be a respect ban, right? Like, you wouldn't ban out a Windranger in any other scenario.
I think it kind of has to be. It's not a hero that's particularly powerful in any specific way. I don't know, it's nice to have on your team, but I don't think first ban is really where we're going to be seeing it very often, unless they have just a baller shackler. So I think that's probably the more stable case. Either way, we're going to see a first pick disruptor as well from Balkan Bears.
So yeah, as far as banning out the Windranger, it's not like she's a hard counter to anything or a super hard counter or anything. So they're going to go for nice and simple first pick for the BBC side. Disruptor, can't really go wrong with that. And Tidehunter, kind of similar, although I've been seeing a lot more games of Tidehunter where he just absolutely gets nothing and then he just underperforms. So I don't know if this is going to be one of those games, but it seems like it's all too common. Seems like with, okay, well, maybe it's going to be different this game because Tidehunter has a lot of help with this AoE, but they are not going to put everything on the Ravage. They're going to split it between the Warlock Ultimate and the Ravage, and BBC, they will already have a good answer to that in the Disruptor Static Storm.
Yeah, they will. Keeping the Tidehunter in place, as well as stopping him from getting off that Ravage, is always really nice. Static Storm, one of the few spells that can actually stop a Tidehunter from getting off the Ravage, since it can't be purged up by Kraken Chill, which is one of the big benefits of having the Tide on your team. 90% of the time, he can get off that spell. Either way, Balkan Bears are going to be bringing a little bit more stable heroes to the table. YellowSubmarine already kind of working around these really big cooldown, large impact ultimates, and if they don't work with that timer, they could be in for a nasty surprise where they're just not able to really accomplish anything. Although, I am pretty psyched to see a second pick Warlock.
Yeah, I think we didn't quite mention that. It is Warlock. Like, we don't see this hero every single day, and it's definitely a hero that you could pick up a little bit later. I don't think I've ever seen Warlock being banned out, so YellowSubmarine really want to get this huge AoE kind of thing going. The problem here is, as we already said, Disruptor is going to, you know, in theory, mess with that plan a little bit, and if you're going to drop a rock on Slark, if you're going to try to Ravage him, it may not necessarily stick. I mean, you might hit him with the skills, but if he has a pact ready, and if he's ready to pounce away or just jam that Shadow Dance button, then has a chance of getting away. So it's going to be up to YellowSubmarine to layer their stuns correctly and surprise the Slark appropriately. Bans are out. Rubik, that's completely understandable up against the Warlock, and a Tidehunter Ancient Apparition as just a secondary powerful support from YellowSubmarine. And then BBC taking out some more powerful lane handlers, as this usually is your weakness when you go for these types of strategies. Your lanes tend to suffer. Death Prophet Viper kicked out.
Definitely. YellowSubmarine will go for a Mirana out of the gate in the second picking stage. Right now, they don't have the greatest setup for the arrow. It's still a pretty solid hero, although they should be looking for another support with a guaranteed stun or a raw setup skill like a Nightmare or a Disruption.
Yeah, either one of those would be pretty good. They just have to make sure that their lanes, as I said, aren't going to be suffering too much, because if they lose in the lanes, if they are under-leveled by the time, you know, let's say 20 minutes, then YellowSubmarine's ultimates aren't going to be as impactful. It's going to be a level race for them, and you don't get levels if you're not doing well in lane. And if you compare that to what Balkan Bears have, again, they're still very safe. Still have good answers to the Mirana and the Disruptor. And Slark's actually really good also. And BBC going to pick up just another stunning hero. It's going to be a very defensive duo of supports for the BBC side. But when you're talking about getting initiated upon by the likes of this AoE, now with a Kunkka added on to that, you need something, some sort of crowd control to throw in there to hopefully disrupt them.
Definitely. That is going to be a big question. However, YellowSubmarine's AoE control is pretty much incredible, as well as the damage they'll be able to put out with the Kunkka should be quite impressive, especially if we get to see Fatal Bonds on multiple heroes. With the cleave coming out from Kunkka, things could get insane. But either way, yeah, it should be pretty interesting. Balkan Bear is still lacking 2 of their cores, and an offlaner most importantly. Batrider's probably pretty high up on their list here, just to start fights on their own terms and pick pieces out of the big teamfight puzzle of YellowSubmarine.
It is very possible if they grab a Batrider to jump in, take out the Warlock, and then, well, most of the team fight is already done at that point. The enemy, they don't have their Warlock, and they won't have the Chaotic Offering and everything else as well, but there's so many targets to go for on the YellowSubmarine side. I do like the Puck here. It's not exactly the same as the Batrider, but it lets you have a way of initiating. And if you're going to blink in and silence the Warlock, then that's almost just as good as lassoing him out. It's also just a nice hero to have when the enemies are kind of short on that crowd control. They have the Kunkka and Mirana, who they are 2 potential core heroes, potential support heroes. How do you think they're going to juggle these?
I'd really like to see them give the Kunkka some more core farm and probably throw the Mirana as a roaming support.
Yeah, I think that's generally what I like more. I think, but either way, a Shadow Demon would be pretty good here. Like, no matter what they actually end up with, who's taking the farm, both these 2 heroes need some setup, and that setup that they won't get from each other. So they need some other supporting hero with some crowd control, and they need something to deal with the Slark, quite honestly, because they could try to land all the AoE and just layer it properly and cross their fingers that Slark doesn't have the packed up, but I would really like to have something as far as stuns that comes out a little bit faster and a little bit, it's something that's easier to land than the Kunkka Torrent or the Mirana Arrow.
If they didn't ban it out themselves, I would suggest a Rubik, but that's not going to be on the table for them. A Lion is also another option. It's going to just offer them a lot of raw CC as well as burst damage for the Slark. I think that would be pretty solid.
Yeah, Lion, maybe even Shadow Shaman? I don't know. I mean, it's just kind of hard to suggest Shadow Shaman when Lion is just such a great hero right now, but I mean, if they're going for this much team fight, might as well just mix it up with a little bit of Serpent Ward so that you could actually do something after the team fight or crush a team fight a little bit harder. It's okay, it's probably not the biggest possibility, but I could see this being more so a Shadow Shaman game than others. It's been a long time since I've seen that hero. I'm pretty sure he still exists, but I don't know because I haven't seen him with my own 2 eyes.
Yeah, I think we had him yesterday in the DAC, but it was just one game and pretty much out of the blue. Been the first one in like a month. It did.
Nice.
If I remember correctly. I could just be really sleepy, which is also highly likely.
Alright, well, we'll assume that he won, so yay, go Shadow Shaman. But I think he's had his time in the light, and speaking of time in the light, Night Stalker going to get the boot out. I don't really know if YellowSub were going to be going for this really aggressive strategy with the Night Stalker. I'm assuming it's just going to be Warlock, Tide, and then, well, either Kunkka or Mirana as their core, and then YellowSubmarine, they're going to just be going for a large amount of AoE. They banned out the Legion Commander. It's definitely a hero that BBC do favor, and then it's going to be a Medusa. Wow. Okay, so, yeah, this Warlock, Tidehunter, Kunkka, huge teamfight AoE combination is not designed to outright win. It's designed to give Medusa space, and I think that's reasonable, although I think I would have liked to see them go a little bit more all-in with it.
Yeah, I think so too. It's not the direction that I was expecting at the very least, although Fatal Bonds is going to be getting a lot of usage this game. I think it's going to be a support Warlock, and I don't really like that per se. It really is reliable on getting that level 6, but it is also going to make it less important to get those objectives with the Warlock Golem. At the very least, you're not going to be committing mid-farm for a hero that's not going to do anything. Either way, you're going to have YellowSubmarine on the Radiant side of the map, Dale's going to be playing on the Tidehunter, Barrage on the Warlock, Signature on the Medusa, PSM playing on the Kunkka, and F on the Mirana.
And on the BBC side, top lane, Bridon is going to be playing his Slark with Levi on a Disruptor, seemingly riding a Hammerhead Shark or something like that. I don't even know. Miracle is going to be playing the Ember Spirit. I don't think I've actually seen Miracle play on BBC before. At least, yeah, not this Miracle. YellowSubmarine on the bottom lane is in a little bit of trouble. PSM, has X Mark. YellowSubmarine is in so much trouble right now. He needs a Miracle Fissure. That's a pretty good one, but I don't really know if it's going to be enough because he's going to get yanked back, and that's going to be First Blood. Dale going to crush him, and that's level 1 X Marks. It is a pretty darn good skill. Mass Carry is the puck. Lucky to get away from that. And, you know, YellowSubmarine, I was talking about how they wanted levels in order to get this huge team fight thing going. Grabbing First Blood that early, though it is split between a whole bunch of heroes, that's pretty much the best start you could ask for.
Definitely. It looks like they might be roaming with the Mirana as well as with the Kunkka, just based on the item loadouts on all of the heroes, and it's pretty interesting. After the recent X Marks chains, it is potentially able to set up arrows, as we've just seen. Bounty run down towards bottom, going to be secured by the puck, and Bridon going to get the one up towards top, although they are going to X up the puck, and now into the arrow. It's going to connect nicely. Do they have enough follow-up to kill off this puck? It's a long-duration stun, but they don't have anything further, and the Illusory of Jaunt's going to keep puck safe, although he should be sent all the way back to the well.
Man, that seems like YellowSub weren't really confident in that arrow landing. If Kunkka was actually sitting right next to his X, then that would have been a kill, just because he would have been able to hit the puck a couple more times. But that's actually really scary right now for BBC, and the fact that you don't really expect this combo to land every day just because it is so hard. But if it is going to land now twice, maybe even 3 times, no, this time it's going to be dodged by Mass Carry. But the more times it lands, the scarier and scarier it gets, because you realize that, hey, this is usually a combo that we don't have to worry about. Now it's something that we have to worry about, and just having one more threat on the board is never something you really want to have up against you, though I guess Puck is the probably best hero to have up against this combo. I mean, clearly he could survive it.
Definitely, especially once level 2 comes out, and now with the phase shift as well, things are going to get a lot worse. In mid, however, the Warlock dropping low, he's going to survive with the heal up against Miracle after trading some blows very aggressively.
I think that was Searing Chains used in a huge creep wave, and I think just Miracle got a little bit unlucky there, is a little too far away or something like that. But either way, Warlock able to slip away, and this is not really a lane where I would expect Warlock to have a whole lot of trouble. Warlock doesn't, he has a good amount of magical damage with a Shadow Word, you know, when he's actually using it offensively, but Miracle should be more worried about the right clicks of the Warlock. The base damage is fairly high, and Mass Carry over towards bottom lane, got hit with the arrow and a Torrent. Oh man, it seems like the Kunkka just has a never-ending mana pool, but yeah, over towards mid, Miracle is gonna still be right-click down, and this is gonna be a lane where he can right-click and the creeps and CS decently, but the Warlock should have the edge here. But speaking of edges, I mean, bottom lane is going so well for YellowSub right now. Mass Carry, he's getting a little bit, but whenever he goes into this lane, he's putting himself in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, it's not a combination you necessarily expect coming out from the gate, but this Kunkka as well as Mirana have been landing 90% of the arrows that they actually go for. I think they've only missed that one on the puck down towards bottom, and even then, hitting a puck with that combination is definitely something to respect. Up towards top, it's a lane that we haven't talked about, and it's probably for good reason, because it's not very exciting. The Tidehunter is getting some experience, but not much. The defensive powers of the Disruptor as well as the Earthshaker mean that Tidehunter really can't put much aggressive pressure, even though he did go for 1 point in Gush with that early skirmish.
Yeah, that was more or less out of necessity, and that's not really going to be helping him out in this lane for a very long time. He's going to be wishing that was Kraken Shell, or Stats even, is probably more useful than Gush level 1 in this top lane scenario, but as long as the Earthshaker isn't in the lane, and right now Tidehunter doesn't know that the Earthshaker's not in the lane, but as long as the Earthshaker isn't there, then the Tidehunter is decently safe. A glimpse back into a Slark at a certain point, Slark is going to be able to do a lot of damage, but once the Anchor Smash comes out, even though it is only level 1, Bridon's damage output is going to plummet, and then the kill potential is just not there without any sort of follow-up. So Tide is going to get much better time than you would really expect, given the Earthshaker's leaving the lane, and the creep wave is actually pushing pretty far towards the Radiant right now, so Tide getting some free experience and being pretty safe in the process.
Definitely. At the very least, he's not getting as much as the puck, but Master Carry gave up a kill, so that definitely does swing things back towards their favor. Let's see. Outside of that, nothing too interesting to note. This is going to be a fairly passive game when it comes to rotations, unless we see the Kunkka and Mirana glimpse up towards top. They are going to pounce down onto Dale with the Fissure blocking him out very nicely. This should be a kill on the Tidehunter very easily and well executed by BBC.
Yeah, when you get an angle like that on any hero, pretty much no matter what heroes you have, you're going to be getting that kill. Slark also prepped the Dark Pact so that he took out the Anchor Smash as soon as it was used, so no damage reduction there. And Tidehunter, I mean, he was pretty comfortable there before the Earthshaker actually showed his face, but adding that fissure, and that's just the nail in the coffin. If the fissure wasn't walling him and if it didn't land, then that would have been very easily Tidehunter's escape, especially packing 5 Magic Stick charges, but he knew that he was screwed and he didn't even bother with that. So Tidehunter down up on top lane is not the best for YellowSub, but as long as the Warlock or the Tidehunter are getting levels, then YellowSub are going to be perfectly happy with their status quo, because really they only need one of those teamfight ultimates to land if they're actually going to win it. They usually need both to land if they're going to crush a team fight, but you don't always have to crush a team fight.
Oh, consistently winning sounds more than acceptable. They've swung the Earthshaker through mid. Drawings on the map coming out from green, that is the Earthshaker, potentially looking for an opening onto this Warlock. It is a fairly easily ganked mid, but also rotation up towards top coming out from YellowSub, from the Mirana as well as the Kunkka combination.
Alright, they're going to try to go for this Slark, and a free-handed arrow actually seems like a decent way that they can actually open this if they just throw it between the melee and range creeps and snake their way through to the Slark. But right now, Kunkka and Mirana are both hidden on this lane. There is no substantial showing of missing heroes down towards bottom. They've been missing for quite a long time, so BBC, they might know about this, but it's going to be close if they do. Did Kunkka just show his face? I think he just walked right into the creep, and now they definitely know where he is. He's going to get the X marks, but there are a lot of creeps here. I don't think the arrow is guaranteed to land. Now PSM is awkwardly stuck in a corner. Torrent and arrow will both miss, but they're going to go for PSM regardless and turning things around onto the Kunkka. The kinetic field and the fissure is up and Dale. He has to eat through this tree, and he will do so. A little bit late. Bridon still going to give chase. Has Shadow Dance. If he thinks he can catch up, he will use it, but I don't know if he can. Has to land this pounce and pact. He will land the pounce. Now the right clicks with the pact, buffing out that Anchor Smash. Yapzor getting there with the Enchant Totem hit. That's a lot of damage. Here comes the Torrent in exchange, but he's going to get glimpsed back. I think, yeah, Kunkka all the way back to the fountain. Ultimately, BBC are the ones to win that engagement, as it's the Kunkka to get way too far away from the rest of his team. And trying to go for that, it's nice and everything, but you need some things to land, and just nothing landed.
Definitely, it was a really awkward angle to go in the first place, and yeah, if you don't hit that arrow or the torrent in that situation, getting the kill after the fact is just not available to you, and it's going to cost the Tidehunter dearly and 100 gold on the Kunkka. That could have been better spent towards mid. Miracle is putting a lot of pressure, and they have the puck as well situated through the mid lane. Didn't actually see what they threw at Brush, but it doesn't look like it really phased him too much. He's going to be all the way back to base, however, as... yeah, I
don't think they actually did anything to him. I think Brash was trying to go for Miracle because he used his Chaotic Offering, and Miracle's at full health. So I think he just either missed his Warlock Golem or just misplaced it or something, or decided to go for the Ember Spirit without any good reason. Either way, Warlock Ultimate is down, and BBC, they rotate heroes into the mid lane, but they don't actually do anything with them.
And I suppose if the Warlock wastes his ultimate, that really doesn't mean anything, since... even if you don't kill him off, he's pretty useless for the next minute or so. They'll bring in the Kunkka and Mirana in return. Ember Spirit, although he does have some defensive backup behind him with that fissure, so it's not going to be the easiest of kills.
And right now, Kunkka is hidden, Mirana is hidden. Although, well, someone pinged the high ground. It seems like they might know the Kunkka. I don't think they had vision there. It seems just out of range, but Miracle, either way, even if he does get hit with a Torrent X combination, he has Flame Spirits to walk away. He has the shield that's level 3. That's a lot of survivability through magic, and the magic isn't even that high, so it will be reasonably survivable. Up towards top, though, it's going to be Dale to be in once again more trouble. He will try to TP out, but if the Slark didn't kill him, then the Fissure sure as hell would have. That's another kill on the Tidehunter, the third death of the hero, and Bridon now going to grab an 8-minute Midas after Power Treads. This Slark is going to be a very large problem for YellowSub because, well, first of all, they need to land their AoE ultimates. They have the Medusa, who down the line will be an answer to the Slark, but right now, Slark is going to be able to kill pretty much whoever he pounces on.
Definitely, and Signature is a long ways away from that. Currently seeing on the Phase Boots can handle this lane versus the puck fairly effectively, but really does need a long time before Medusa's actually battle ready.
And it's going to be Slark definitely getting
Chains
battle
in
ready
mid.
faster. And
they find Barash.
Jump forward from the Ember Spirit. Here comes the Kunkka through an X. Torrent's still being held, however. Does he not have mana? Yeah, he doesn't have mana. 5 mana short. Here comes the Chaotic Offering, though. Onto 2. PSM dropping very low. Will snap the coil. Barash also getting worked down by the puck. Yapzor will die to the Golem, but that's a very, very good trade for the BBC side, unless Mascari also dies. Getting body blocked by F, gonna decide to go through the Golem, and looks like he will dodge one arrow. Now trying to bottle up. Here comes the the tower shots. Mascari will survive that as well. And with everyone else from BBC reinforcing, the puck is barely gonna get out of there with his life, but Warlock ultimate used one more time, and that's usually when the Warlock ult is at its strongest, but just not good enough with the puck also being there.
Yeah, not going to be able to stick on any targets in the meantime. Up towards top, Pounce, and now Shadow Down spent by Bridon as he's able to pursue Dale and will be able to bring him down. Torrent going to miss, and now PSM potentially in some trouble. The X is going to bring the Slark back. He doesn't get any regen, but he's going to be just fine. There's no further heroes other than just PSM.
And PSM is actually the one in trouble right now. Bridon just needs a couple of seconds with the Shadow Dance, and he's going to be at half HP. PSM now stuck in a corner with no mana. Has Warlock coming in, has Tidehunter coming in, Ravage still not available, Stone Gaze not there either. Arrow will fly, Levi will dodge it, but the X is damning, and unless he has Mascari help, he might get out of here alive if he's very, very lucky. Now, Dale with the Gush, and that's going to be one kill. Mascari going to get his way out of there, but Bridon is going to assassinate someone in the back lines. He will get a couple stars dropped on him and then beat down for another. That's going to be a 2-for-1 up towards the top lane as Mascari and Miracle separate their attention. Fissure onto Dale, though, and the Emberspit should be able to run down the Tidehunter. In the meantime, Coil dropped onto F off on the side, and he will snap that and then get silenced. That's going to be BBC cleaning house up on the top lane as they reinforce with pretty much everyone. And YellowSub just lacking the amount of heroes and really lacking the AoE. If they had a Ravage, if Tidehunter did not die 5 times, that could have been their fight, but they just don't have the power right now.
And right now, Mascari is going to get a big leap in power as he picks up the Blink Dagger at 10.5 minutes on an offlane puck. It's a pretty incredible timing, especially after going for a bottle. The initiation power from this puck is going to be insane and not rivaled by anything that YellowSub really have. Glimpse in mid, they find this Varash, and with the Static Storm Kinetic Field and the Ember Spirit jumping forward, they will be able to kill him off very handily.
I think Miracle dodged back with his Spirit, and YapzOr took the arrow because of it. It's going to be fine, though, because Earthshaker, even if he does die, it's not a terribly huge deal, and he was going to die anyway. So BBC assassinate the Warlock with a very short glimpse, jump right back in with a fissure onto F, and the damage from the shield burn with one more right click from the puck. It's going to be a double for Mascari. YellowSub, they're just falling apart right now, and they do have the Ravage up on the top lane, but I mean, Warlock can't really do anything if he gets jumped in the mid and stuck in the Static Storm. YellowSub, they need these ultimates to land. They need to be the ones initiating, because so far it's been BBC to start pretty much every single fight, and that is not good if you're packing the huge AoE ultimates and the Tidehunter Ravage is not among them.
Yeah. At the very least, they do have Medusa left alone in the bottom lane, who's been able to farm and now picks up a tier 1 tower after the fact. But you're definitely right, they desperately need a Blink Dagger on this Tidehunter, just some way to start things on their own terms. This puck blink is really putting a thorn in their side, and it's going to get even worse. They are going to assassinate the Marauder and now look towards Brash. He's trying to drop the Warlock ultimate, can't do it, double torrent lands. But with no further follow-up, that's going to be all she wrote. Dale has the Ravage and might be unleashing it now with the Medusa ultimate up in the high ground. They are going to be able to drop down the puck and now look towards Miracle. Miracle dropped low, X marked, and this is probably going to be the end of his life. He has a Remnant, but he can't actually activate it. It is going to be right click to his death, and that's going to be a double kill for his signature.
Ravage not even used by Dale. BBC, I mean, they kill off the Warlock, and very, very narrowly so, but just this time it's them lacking the heroes because, well, in the previous fights, BBC have been reinforcing with pretty much everyone. This is just one of those times where they decided that, hey, we're powerful enough to go for a kill, and they were right, but YellowSub reinforced with enough heroes, this time even Signature arriving to that fight. And BBC are very quickly outnumbered, though Slark up on top lane, he's not going to stop, he's going to go for Brash, will buff out the arrow, however the Torrent and Golem will land, and the boat will as well. Bridon taking everything to face, that's going to be his death. In Blink Dagger, you can reasonably assume that you're going to be able to assassinate a Warlock, but not when he has that much backup and not when literally everything lands. But over towards bottom lane Signature, he's so weak right now, and even level 7 to support Disruptor can kill off this Medusa, I think. Yeah, Static Storm, it's going to catch, and Signature will burn.
That's going to be end of Deuce's life, and honestly not something it should be happening, just getting a little too aggressive inside the woods. Mascari poised to jump on the sidelines, but it's going to be the Moana that gets jumped first. They'll bring him back into the Torrent after the Ravage connects onto Miracle. The follow-up isn't there immediately, but they do have the magic damage applied from the Warlock, as well as him being chained up to the Earthshaker. They are going to bring in Mascari on the side, but he actually doesn't drop anything through. Torrent going to connect on the puck, and the Warlock Golem is beating away at Mascari. Mascari dropping low, but instead it's going to be Bridon assassinating Varash. Mascari is going to be just fine as the Warlock Golem is going to wear off. For now, it's going to be a nil for 3 trade if you include the Dusa pick off earlier. Now that's going to be the Kunkka behind the tower, dropped low, but Rana ultimate going to bail him out.
And blind fissure just in case Kunkka was running in that direction. Of course he wasn't, so BBC not going to get anything else besides what they have already picked up, but YellowSub going pretty darn deep for a couple of kills, or at least a kill attempt, and they ended up, and once you drop the Warlock ultimate, you kind of have to go. If you just drop the ultimate and run away, you're wasting so much power for the immediate time, and of course the couple of minutes after that, so you want to make something happen after you drop that ultimate, but if you don't actually do it, then you're just wasting your time, and they lose a lot of heroes on the retreat. They need Ravage at this point with the Warlock ultimate. Normally, if they were a little bit more in this game, then they wouldn't need both, but at this point it's getting to a stage where if they don't have both, or if they don't have, you know, 2 AoE ultimates landing, Boat, Ravage, Chaotic Offering, pick 2, then they're just going to get cleaned up. Bridon, he's on the hunt, and he's going to run into Dale. No, he's instead going to go for F, who's been having a really bad time lately. He's going to get bailed out by the Torrent. Here comes the boat as well. Bridon will get hit by that, and the Mystic Snake coming in as well. Second time in a row now, or I guess not in a row, but Bridon jumping forward for a target that usually you can assassinate, but just doesn't expect there to be that many heroes, and he is going to get punished for it.
PSM has been doing a pretty darn good job on the Kunkka, landing his torrents as well as the boats, and really has been bailing out those targets that are being dived under their towers by the Slark. He is one of the few heroes that can deal fairly effectively with Slark inside the Shadow Dance.
Radiant's bottom tower
And
is under
Slark
attack.
is certainly feeling that right now. He has a
Radiant
Hanamitis though,
structures
so
are fortified.
even though he is dying a couple of times, it's not really the end of the world. Bottom lane, Miracle going to get X marks into a torrent one more time. Barash going to drop the ultimate, but it will miss as the Ember Spirit gets just a split second to jump away, and he will do so after killing off the tower. Warlock Golem now down, and well, as I said, you have to make something happen whenever you drop that rock. It looks like they're going to try to put some pressure down towards bottom, but this could be really, really bad. They don't have their Tidehunter, and even if they did, it is not really a push that you want to make up against what BBC have. It looks like BBC, they're not actually interested in a defense, though. Maybe they're not taking this push seriously, and it looks like YellowSub, they aren't taking this push seriously either. So, Warlock Golem, that's down and out, though Tidehunter does have a Blink Ravage now, so even though you may not have one, maybe a perfectly positioned Ravage is enough.
Yeah, we'll have to see if it is going to be so. BBC grouped up inside mid. They are going to be clumped up as a 4-man unit. The only one not there is Bridon. He's farming up the enemy woods. They'll put some serious pressure on this tier 2 tower in the middle lane as YSub aren't in immediate position to defend, although they are going to swing that way soon.
Well, Dale right now is keeping his Blink Dagger hidden, and BBC, they're not going to be prepared for this. I mean, they are already not going to be clumping up too much because, well, up against what YellowSub have, the boats and the Warlock ultimate, you don't want to be hit by that with 3 heroes. That is usually death sentence. Arrow is in mid-flight, and it is seen by BBC, even though everyone else is invisible, so that's really awkward.
Yeah, it really is. Not sure why we're paused. Hopefully we'll be able to sort this out soon. It's the Warlock that paused, so I suppose it's their fault as well. But yeah, it should be pretty obvious that the jig is up. Either way, arrow flies through. They get the Ravage going to connect on to pretty much everybody. The boat going to connect onto Masquerade. Masquerade dropped low, but we'll be able to phase shift to Loser Orb. And with the Static Storm Kinetic Field combo, it is potentially going to bail out. No, he's going to die in the sidelines to Deuce. It glimpse back onto Dale. There's no follow-up. Ember Spirit drops a Remnant up into the high ground, going to jaunt to that one. Now going to back down to the low ground. Fisher connects through as Bridon assassinates the Tidehunter. Echo Slam committed onto Signature is going to lose his life. That is going to be a 3-for-1, and for now, that looks like it's going to be it, as PSM and Barash have no business being there anymore.
BBC make it 3-for-1, but even if they trade even if they lost a little bit more, then YellowSub will be hard-pressed to make this defense. They used everything there. They don't have their Warlock ultimate. They don't have their boat. Even though it's a really low cooldown, they will have it again. Ravage being down and only killing off a Puck, or I think they got someone else as well, maybe, respawn, but Puck for sure took a fall there. And without the Ravage, they really can't afford to make a significant defense. Although BBC, maybe they're going to throw them a freebie, maybe they're going to back off and will try to get farms somewhere else. They're going to glimpse back a Tidehunter. Seemed like that's what happened, even though he doesn't have a TP available. Never mind, maybe he just respawns. So BBC, they are going to back off right now, and honestly, they're not in any rush. If it does come to a late game scenario, yeah, they're up against Dusa, but this Dusa is underfarmed, or I mean, she's not having a huge impact right now, and they're working with a Slark with a Midas and an Ember Spirit who's, okay, never mind, going for a Yasha. So it looks like actually BBC don't want this to go late. Signature actually does have a lot more than I thought, with 4 kills, mostly Slarks that jumped in too aggressively, but Dusa is slowly getting to that stage where she will be just that 6-slotted monster, or feels like it at least. So BBC, they are on a timer.
Yeah, they definitely are. They have tools to deal with it. However, they now have a Blink Dagger freshly picked up by Yapzor, and a very fast one at that for a support Earthshaker. The Blink Echo Slam is going to be a tool akin to the Ravage and big teamfight ultimates of YSub, although not quite as potent, still pretty darn close.
Mid lane Miracle gonna get hit with an X-Torrent arrow, but will get bailed out by his own jump out. Levi rather, going to get chased down by Signature. Tree's getting destroyed, and that's gonna end up killing the Disruptor. Pedrinho gonna get caught with the Torrent, will pack that one out, but now he's on the run. Mass Carry right behind him, possibly setting up for a trap. But it seems like YellowSub are aware of this, or at least they don't want to be chasing a Slark every which way. This is a pause that shouldn't be happening.
Yeah, that's the admin, if anybody wanted to know.
Who is that Valve admin that paused? I don't even remember his name anymore.
I don't know.
You know what I'm talking about, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was too long ago. I don't know what happened to F, but he's pretty messed up. But okay, either way, we're back in, guys, and Warlock Golem not available. Ravage cooling down very shortly. You know, even though YellowSub haven't had the best start, I think the fact that the Medusa is getting decent enough farm, and the fact that they're not really losing too many structures means that even though they're at a 10 kill deficit, just the power of an AoE stun and all the AoE that they have means that they're actually not too far behind in this game. In fact, it might just be closer to even than BBC having a huge edge.
Yeah, it definitely might be. Though the Warlock Golems really have been very lackluster coming out from Barash. 1, 4, and 2, he hasn't really been able to find any openings for it, and unfortunately the second pick Warlock isn't really pulling his own weight. Either way, we are going to have a group up coming out from BBC. Well, let's see where they're going to end up going with this. They don't have the greatest of Roshan lineups, and fighting in the Roche Pit up against a Kunkka Tidehunter Warlock just really isn't on the table, much less the other heroes. It's pretty nasty. So I'd expect them to look for a pick-off or maybe just barrel down mid. Let's see, Mirana Ultimate down on the ground. They have a sentry, but that's about to time off. They are going to ping out Miracle, and he is going to go back. Glimpse is going to buy them a little bit more space too, as BBC are going to be able to pull out safely.
Yeah, random Sentry Ward acting like a hero there for BBC, but it's this time going to be a smoke for YellowSub. I guess if one doesn't work, then the second must. They're going to try to go for a puck, though, and this is going to be a very hard kill to get. Mass Carry going to get his Blink Dagger canceled, something else. Uses Orb to farm. That's his death, I think, just because he doesn't have that. Although he's going to dodge a lot of skills, he's not going to dodge everything. Usually when you're that far in, you orb and then very swiftly back away, but if you do throw an orb there, then you're putting yourself in some danger. And well, YellowSub in the right place at the right time. They're going to push out the top lane, race for a tier 1 for a tier 2 trade, and maybe they're going to make it happen. No, they're actually going to be forced back. Pedrinho very, very weak, gets caught with an X. He's going to regenerate a little bit in a Shadow Dance, and he will blink out, but he will fail to actually escape as he comes right back into a Torrent. I have Scotty Medusa not going to let that Slark escape, and that's going to be one careless death, or another one for Pedrinho, as Levi should be fine to walk out of here, but that's certainly not the trade that BBC were looking to make.
Yeah, it definitely is not. For now, no towers are going to fall in that exchange, but still BBC are going to lose one of their highest farming heroes, and to the Dusa no less. This is going to be a Dusa sitting on the Yasha as well as FaZe and Scotty at 22 minutes into this game, and is going to be well on his way towards some pretty major items. And the threat of that 6-slotted Medusa definitely is real for YellowSubmarine, as Signature is, for the most part, been left alone.
And this ordinarily wouldn't be a huge problem, although, I mean, not a huge problem for what BBC have. Their Slark has been dying a lot more because he's just been, you know, running in and suiciding, and that's never a good thing. But also their Ember Spirit not going to go for a Battle Fury build. He's gone for the Yasha, which is going to make him do a little bit more damage right now, but this means that his farm speed down the line is going to be a lot slower. And that means we're not going to see that, you know, whole Daedalus Ember Spirit thing where he just chops through everyone in one hit. At least if we do, it's going to take a hell of a long time. So this Ember Spirit right now is going pretty much full mid-game build. And right now, I don't really know if it's working for him. Yeah, he's 4-1-7, but it just seems like YellowSub aren't really scared of that Ember right now. Pedrinho Gonna go right onto the front lines. Has to be careful of a Blink Ravage. He will get X marked right back into a Torrent. Here comes the boat as well as the Warlock Golem, as well as the Ravage. Bridon still alive, but he will not be so for much longer. He will take the fall. Levi gets a Static Storm, and they will catch 3 with the coil, but there's no follow-up damage right now. The puck is going to get caught with the X. Torrent going to be lined up. Massacre will not get hit by that. That looked weird, but they will get the kill anyway. That's 3 kills for YellowSub, and BBC, they're on the retreat. They just don't have any sort of follow-up to the small amounts of AoE that they do have, and YellowSub, they don't have any big AoE ultimates left, but with only 2 heroes to worry about, they're going to take this tower.
Yeah, definitely. And they are going to X-Mark after the TP. They'll find Dale on the retreat, however. He's completely blocked off. Arrow going to miss, Torrent going to miss, but Dale still burns down to the Ember's shield. Medusa right-clicks a little bit, but that's going to be about it. Signature also gets the tower destruction there. YellowSub, they have to commit all of their ultimates for it, but that's what they're there for. They take a crushing victory, if they didn't lose the Tidehunter especially.
But of course, whenever you're running with this many huge AoE skills, there's going to be downtime, as they used all of their teamfight ultimates, they won the teamfight, and BBC now have no more AoE ultimates to worry about, and I think BBC know about this. They have cooldowns that tend to be a little bit smaller. Yapzor held on to his Echo Slam. I think he just couldn't find an angle there to get in. The Puck, Coil, as well as the Static Storm have very similar cooldowns, and they'll be both up very, very shortly. So BBC, this is their chance to actually make something happen, knowing that YellowSub are substantially weaker right now, and it might be Barash to get jumped first. Yes, he will get caught in the pounce. Fissure will connect, and the chain stun from the Shaker. Torrent Arrow will bail him out, maybe. No. It will force the Echo Slam to be used, but they get the kill regardless. BBC now have a chance to go for Roshan if they really want to, or they could go for a tower push. If they do go for Roshan, it's going to be not safe and not fast, just because they don't have any Roshaning heroes, so maybe they actually can't get that much done after that pick, and after the, how much time do they have left? 30 seconds? 50 seconds before things get dangerous again?
Yeah, it really feels like the window isn't large enough for them to get a major objective. They will attempt a Roshan, and maybe it'll be fast enough. I don't know, it is possible for them to do it, although they have no great sustain, no great Roshan damage, and as we can see, it's taken them quite a long time.
Unfortunately for them, YellowSub are all in the top lane, so they're pretty much as far away as you possibly can be for contesting this. Miracle of finding a DD rune, that's certainly going to help, and he's going to actually go for a rather late Battle Fury. Okay, so his Yasha build wasn't intentionally built towards the mid-game. It was just a, I'm doing so well, I might as well get a Yasha before Battle Fury kind of thing, and it's reasonable, but I think he would much rather have a completed Battle Fury right now than just a Yasha and an extra sword. It's going to be the Aegis for the tier 1 up towards top, and the YellowSub with all their ultimates on or available right now, and they know that they're in control of this game.
To be fair, he does have the Claymore on the career and only needs the Perseverance complete till he has the Battle Fury, but he would have had that a long time ago if he didn't go for the Yasha. Tier 2 tower trade is looking to be the order of business for both teams, as YellowSub get the one up towards top and BBC the one at bot.
And this tower is going to fall, and BBC, they really can't afford to make any sort of defense, or at least not walk into YellowSub, and because of that fact, YellowSub, they're going to be, trying to go for a push, but it's going to be out-split pushed by BBC. Bridon as well as Levi going to go for mid, whereas tier 2 tower bottom already down. Mid lane will be deniable, and it's going to be a glimpse back on the Warlock all the way back up north. Tower denied over towards mid, yet still BBC take down 2 objectives. Even though it is denied and they're hurting for gold right now, it's going to be fine for them. Moonlight Shadow is out, and Dale is going to be caught by Bridon right now. Force Staff caught with the pounds, and now Dale stuck in the kinetic field. He has a Ravage to use if he wasn't silenced. I don't even know if you want to use it here. You probably don't. And that's going to be the death of the Tidehunter. 50 seconds down where BBC have yet another opening to do something.
Yeah, and this is going to be a pretty big one, too. They have no buyback on the Tidehunter, and not to be expected either. Tier 2 tower up top is probably going to be the option that they look towards.
Yeah, and that tower should be contestable by YellowSub just because the creep wave is so far away for BBC. They only need 20 seconds for a Ravage, and at this point Medusa, she now has the Manta style, so a lot more split shots and a lot more pain coming out from her, and these illusions are not fragile either. They have Eye of Scotty Ogre Club as their effective HP, and these illusions are, I guess, going to feed the Echo Slam. Best case scenario there for BBC, but Signature is still dishing at this point, and well, they're going to run into Massacre, who does have a Yule Scepter and a Blink Out. PSM a little bit slow on the draw, even though think he probably couldn't have gotten that even if he was perfectly on it.
The rune of haste.
Well, for now, YellowSub are going to be all the way up towards the top lane, so BBC aren't able to find anything after that Tidehunter pickoff. Smoke out coming out from the Mirana as well as the Warlock. They have all of their cooldowns up except for the Moonlight Shadow, and honestly that doesn't mean very much of anything. They might be able to find Pedro as he farms up some Ancients. Possibly unintentionally though, as it might just be PSM. For now, nobody's actually going to bump into each other.
And YellowSub, they're not making any huge aggressive plays. They're just going to buy Medusa a little bit more space to get a couple more items up. It's going to be Bridon to run into... No, he just ran around Dale. Wow, that was... He didn't even break the Shadow Dance there. That's so weird how that happened, but... Slark and Tidehunter just going to pass each other, and now they both don't know that they just did that, so... That's fine, I suppose. Either way, BBC, they are split pushing on all fronts, and this is really what you have to do up against this type of lineup. You have to avoid the big 5-on-5. Clearly, they have not been working well for BBC, and they will continue to not work well. Bridon, though, going to say, screw that, I'm going to go for Dale, putting half damage into this Tidehunter, but it's going to get caught with the Torrent. Arrow was already used, I believe. Glimpse back on the Tidehunter into a kinetic field static storm. There's the Warlock Golem that's going to drop, but clean disengage for BBC. The Warlock ultimate going to do nothing, and with both of those heroes down, or both those ultimates down for the moment, BBC, they have a chance now at cracking high ground, but it's not working out too well for the Mascara. Going to jump right in, assassinate the Mirana in a hurry. Signature, though, going to get the Stone Gaze out, making everyone turn tail and run. Bridon still has that Aegis, and looks like he will use it right now. Miracle is also stuck in that Stone Gaze, and actually Bridon's still alive somehow. He probably should use the Aegis right there. Brash going to get killed off. Signature dropping very low on mana, caught in the field, and he will be focused down by everyone and their mom. Yes, that's going to be it. BBC take a full 5-man wipe after assassinating the Tidehunter without letting him get a single spell off. And YellowSub have 2 buybacks in the Medusa and the Kunkka, but their high ground is going to be pushed here.
Definitely, and even if they buy back, they're not going to be at their full fighting potential. A well-executed fight by BBC, and pretty much what they have to do. Isolating that Tidehunter was crucial, and they also mop up the Warlock Golem. Even though it's really nice to have that instant stun coming out that goes through Magic Immunity, it's really all about having that damage after the fact. They jump in for the Ravage, going to attack onto Padrinho. Glimpse going to be thrown out. He's going to get the pounce. He has the Shadow Dance as well, so Padrinho is going to be just fine. He still has the Aegis after all of that too. He didn't even die in the last engage. Dale is going to be dropped, and that's going to be the end of his life. Padrinho probably going to die as well to the tick damage. No, now that he's out of vision, he's going to get that Shadow Dance region and is just fine. Honestly, he'd be fine even if he didn't have the Aegis. Yapsor in mid, going to be X into the Torrent, drop down. The Earthshaker is going to be the fatality of war here, and now Levi going to be able to get a glimpse back on his signatures. They focus on the Mirana. Mirana going to die, and now looking to retreat. Pedro has been X'd up and potentially in some trouble. Signature going to be able to get a nice wraparound with the boat landing onto Pedrinho. He's going to be forced to pounce over the trees. Now caught out, he's completely stuck. They get a little bit of extra regen, but he is going to lose his life, and unfortunately too, his Aegis just expired.
Oh man, you hate to see that kind of thing happen. Ember Spirit's still messing with the mid lane right now. The push from BBC didn't put any permanent damage into these structures that really matter, though they do take a tier 3 tower. It's not really the best push for BBC, and you really, when you're presented with an opportunity that's that large, you need to make a little bit more happen. Dusa, though, did buy back, so that is exactly what BBC wanted, and I guess they get what they wanted, though a tier 3 and an okay-ish team fight for BBC, not the worst thing to happen for them. They're going to get a lot of gold after that, and we have a Basher on the Slark now, Battle Fury completed on the Ember Spirit with the Manta style. BBC, they are feeling in control of this game, and knowing the Ravage is down, they're going to smoke up and look for blood. It's going to be F to be maybe the one in trouble, although this smoke is going to run into an outnumbered fight. Dale is not going to be dropped by these heroes unless they land an Echo Slam right now. They're going to chain him to the floor. Yapsor are going to throw a fissure. Dale will crack and shell that out immediately. He doesn't have anywhere to run, though, so this can be problematic for him. Sentry on the deck, and Dale's going to get glimpsed right back. Arrow, though, that's not going to help him out. He will get chopped down. 55 seconds, Tidehunter off the table. As BBC, they're mobilizing over in mid. However, without the Slark, I don't think they can make another high ground push, even though there's no Ravage.
Especially into a Warlock ultimate that is now Aghanim upgrade coming out from YellowSubmarine. Slark up towards top, going to find himself a pretty free PSM. Split pushing out alone, he is going to be brought down.
Probably not the best idea for a Kunkka to do that, as when he saw Bridon respawn, maybe he thought they would just make a beeline for mid lane and TP to the tier 1 and then just be happy with pushing the high ground, but otherwise Slark going to get yet another kill, and even though he's not really exactly where the Medusa is, having the Basher means that he does have a significant edge that the Medusa is not going to have in this game. He will have to work through Stone Gaze, but if you could get on top of Medusa and just bash her down, or even if you can't, just hitting her is probably not going to kill her, but if you're bashing her and stealing her stats, then you're essentially taking her out of the fight. Of course, all of that is only true if she doesn't have backup or if she doesn't have her stone gaze up, but either way, the Slark is at a point where he is going to be able to do a hell of a lot of work for the rest of the team, and Ember Spirit not quite there yet. He's pretty much the pure damage hero, Ember Spirit, and he's lacking the pure damage part, so that's not good.
No, it is going to get better soon. With the current race car build, he is zipping around, but definitely needs a Daedalus or something of the sort. He has the Manta Style as well as Battle Fury up on Miracle. Tier 2 tower up towards top has been denied by the Dusa, as the creeps did drop it down into deny range. So BBC are without any outer tier towers, but going high ground up against this yellow sub lineup is a completely different story.
And they're going to push where they can while being safe. It's, of course, Ember Spirit, so he is able to keep himself safe pretty much no matter what. And Roshan is going to be a very short respawn timer. This is not going to really favor either side that much, actually, as Yellow Sub, they have all their ultimates up, so it's not like they have to wait any longer for that. It's about go time for them, and maybe they're not going to expect this Roshan to be respawning this quickly, but if BBC, if they know about it, and they should, just because they're kind of hanging around this entire area, they should also expect to have their Roshan attempt to be crashed, and that is, as you said before, not where you want to be if you're BBC, facing down a Ravage, Warlock ultimate, and of course the boat, and even the Medusa at this point is pretty darn dangerous in close quarters. So smoke up from Yellow Sub, and they're going to check Roshan. They will see that it's up if they go into the pit, and BBC, they are maybe going to be prepared to crash this. I don't know if Yellow Sub are going to commit. Yeah, they are. They know that they're powerful enough in this Roshan pit to try to make something happen.
For now, it's just going to be Signature. Miracle going to bump into him. He spots out the Roche being done. They'll Fisher in, looking for the Echo Slam. Catches out two. Not enough damage immediately. Brush is able to get off his ultimate before falling. In fact, he's going to be able to make his way over towards the sidelines. Boat lands onto two. They'll be able to focus him down with the chains onto pretty much everybody. They're just taking too much damage. Buyback from Badrino as he wants to get back into this fight. Miracle able to consistently drop out some chains. They are going to land a Fisher on a PSM, instantly killed off by that coil. They are going to get the Ravage landing onto Miracle and company. They'll bring down the Tide Tempter in return. A triple kill for Miracle. Miracle able to skirt over towards the outskirts of the fight and save his life. Signature dropping. That's going to be a full 5-man wipe, although it costs them to die back on the Slark.
Man, Miracle, okay, I said before that he wasn't doing the damage, but man, did he deliver in that fight. He dropped down so low so many times, was able to disengage and drink his entire bottle, and then re-engage. He got so many sleights of fist off, and those close quarters that usually will benefit Yellow Sub, and we saw that right there with the Warlock Golem ultimate landing on a couple, with the Ravage landing on 3 heroes, something like that, with the boat landing on 2. Those are things that benefit Yellow Sub, but what also benefits BBC is the fact that Ember Spirit is working with heroes that are caught like in this very narrow area of the river, and he has a Battle Fury working for him. And that's not ordinarily something that's too substantial, just because the positioning is usually not relevant when you're dealing with Battle Furies, but it worked out so well. He got so much cleave damage, and he got, I don't even know how many sleights of fists off. He did a truckload of damage in that last fight. Now, though, he's going to be punished, getting caught with the arrow. Boat coming in, and Miracle is going to get clipped by that as well. Stunned for a million years. He's going to Sleight of Fist one more time, then jump away twice. Man, they can't even kill the Ember Spirit with that. Dale's going to chase forward, but that's not a fight that he really wants to be taking right now. He doesn't have the backup here, but BBC, they're kind of on the retreat, so luckily for him, he's not going to get punished for it. Miracle, though, going to pick up his Daedalus. Now this Ember Spirit is exactly where he wants to be 36 minutes into the game. Now he's able to do a truckload of damage, and if he survives all these team fights long enough, if he dodges the AoE, then man, he's going to be running a train over Yellow Sub.
Definitely. Right now, BBC, one of the big benefits that they have is that they have 2 cores that are farming, whereas Yellow Sub really only have the Dusa, and even then, the supports just aren't getting very much either. The Warlock has the most farm out of all of the auxiliary heroes coming out from Yellow Sub, and he's being out-farmed by the enemy Earthshaker with the 4-staff Blink, as well on his way towards an Aghanim Scepter up for Yapzor. BBC, things are looking up for them after a couple of less than optimal engagements for YellowSubmarine, in particular that one over towards the Roshan pit. Mascari going to be able to jaunt towards this illusory orb, but will be able to make himself elusive.
And just wasting time with the Yellow Sub side, and the Yellow Sub team, they have their ultimates up soon enough, but I don't really know if they could get here in time to actually use those ultimates. Roshan is dropping awfully quick, and if Miracle grabs an Aegis, then it could just all be over for YellowSub if they engage in this fight. Kinetic Field there to wall off any YellowSub heroes that might be incoming. Fissure is going to do the exact same thing. Miracle, though, gets tagged with an arrow. That's not a great way to start off a fight. Master Carry going to get a 3-man coil. Warlock ultimate going to be dropped onto Zero Heroes. Boat going to come in, lay the rum onto everyone, but Zero Heroes will connect with the stun as well. So it's not really the best set of team fights for YellowSub, and even their Medusa wasting a BKB charge there. This is going to be them on the full retreat. Fissure going to connect onto a couple barrage, taking a heavy load of damage from Miracle and the Earthshaker. That's going to be 1 kill going the way of BBC. The Warlock Golem still running around every which way. Will deny a haste screen, but they're going to be cleaned up in a hurry. That was just a train wreck of a fight for YellowSub. They have the Ravage still, but they used everything else, and they don't get a single kill. They really don't even put that much damage onto the BBC side.
Yeah, there really wasn't. The Medusa snaps an Actim Scepter puck coil, and it just makes things even worse for YellowSubmarine, as all of that net worth that's currently on Signature is not being put to any use. And even so, pretty much most of these items are mostly defensive, even though a lot of stats on Deuce is always wonderful and can do quite a lot of damage with Split Shot. At this point, BBC don't really care very much.
BBC, they're going to try once again to go for this high ground push, but they know that Ravage is still up, so even though this is a push that they probably can take, it's not something that they'll feel really comfortable doing. And I think it'll probably behoove them to just fall back, and yeah, they will do so. Maybe, try to stick around and try to jump YellowSub, just having that team fight edge with no Warlock ultimate up, but they're pretty much out farming the Medusa at this point. Medusa is constantly remaining about 1,000 gold ahead of the Slark, but Ember Spirit with that Battle Fury is just skyrocketing in farm, and with the travels now available to him, he'll be farming even faster in more places. So BBC, they're going to play the slow and steady game, at least for now. They have the Aegis though, so they shouldn't be sitting back for too long.
Definitely not. They're going to have that Aegis for quite some time, but even bigger still, they're going to have an Abyssal Blade up for Petrinho, and they should be able to really pick apart the YSub team with this. A Blinken Abyssal, they should be able to assassinate the Warlock in particular, or pretty much any part of this team fight is going to make it really hard for YSub to actually take an engagement.
Well, YSub, they're going to go up to the top lane, it looks like, expecting someone to be pushing there, and I guess they were right. Ember Spirit was there, but not any longer. If they're not going to smoke up, then you're probably not going to kill anyone with this, and BBC, they're going to make an exact mirrored movement down towards bottom. We have an Aghanim Scepter on the Earthshaker. It's been way too long since I've seen an item, this item on the Shaker, and he already has the Blink Dagger Force Staff. Has only died 3 times in this game, so holding on to quite a bit of value. Though I don't really know if Aghanim Scepter is completely worth it on the hero in general.
Well, this game you are going to be working with Manta Illusions on the Dusa as well as potential Warlock Golem, so the dream is real for the big Echo Slam. I'd probably say as a general rule, just getting a Scythe up on the Earthshaker is probably a little bit better when you're looking towards that item after your Blink and Force.
Yeah, or like a Shiva's Guard or Assault Cuirass, one of those items that helps a little bit more, or a Heaven's Halberd or something like that, I think would probably help out a little bit more, but who knows. YapzOr, what's done is done, and we'll see if the Echo Slam, first of all, is going to land in such a way that benefits from the Aghanim Scepter. Pretty much it just makes it do more damage, so yeah, we'll see if he is actually in any position to land some good Echo Slams, because I don't really know if I've seen, there's been any spectacular Echo Slams from YapzOr in this game. He hasn't really had that many great angles.
Yeah, they've been consistently good, but nothing like a 5-man Echo. Nothing to really write home about. He's done his job, though, on this Earthshaker. The fissures have been consistently well-placed.
Yeah, the fissures have been amazing. Just the Echo Slams are kind of paling in comparison to the fissures, I suppose. So if he's maybe throws a couple of whiffed fissures, then his Echo Slams would look a lot better by comparison. Which is probably not how you want to play, but yeah, it's the truth, guys. Over towards mid, BBC, they want to use this Aegis right now. Chip damage onto the range Rax's Fissure just to make a wall, and Padrino, I mean, maybe he's going to use the Aegis a lot faster than he really expected. He's going to get Force Staffed out. No Shadow Dance being used just yet, but Slark not dying means that he's going to Shadow Dance his way back up to full soon enough. Aegis timer should be coming to a close, actually. Yeah, he doesn't have that much time. So I don't think this is going to be Aegis value for BBC. I don't even know if they're going to be able to do anything right now. They might just be wasting their time.
Potentially. Let's see if they find an opener. Fisher going to land in a signature. They blink forward. Medusa currently at half mana, but with the Torrent and Boat landing on a Pedro, they might actually be able to kill off the Slark before the Aegis times out. Never mind that. Going to use the Shadow Dance and now work towards the melee barracks. Probably should have just gone for the chip on the range. They'll pull him back with the X mark, but no further follow-up onto him. The chains are going to connect him with the creep wave. They're going to be able to drop the golems onto him. Pounce going to connect in the Tidehunter, gets the Ravage onto pretty much everybody else as well. Masquerade jumps in. They get the kinetic field static storm off, but with the BKB on signature, they don't actually care much. Ultimate going to be spent as we have a disconnect from the Earthshaker. Why isn't this game pausing? X-Mark going every which way as zip-zap forward from Miracle. Miracle, however, is currently in a whole heap of trouble as he's going to be dropped low. We'll be able to remnant towards the backlines and TP out to safety. Lucky enough we have the Earthshaker back again, but what an awkward time to disconnect.
Yeah, I don't really know if that would have mattered too much since BBC, they didn't really have much of a chance. Although Miracle going to re-engage. He wants to go for Barrage, who knows he has his no ultimate. He knows he has no ultimate, and he will kill off one. Now looking towards the Warlock Golems, a couple of hits with that Daedalus and the Cleave. That's going to be a little bit more change in Miracle's pocket. BBC, they don't get the Aegis. They don't use it. Slark dies, and literally the split second before he dies, Aegis times out. Second time in a row, and BBC, their timings are just so on point, except they're not being used correctly, so bad times there. Yasuo, they're going to jump in for an Echo Slam. We'll catch two heroes, Kunkka and Tidehunter, both in a lot of trouble. Yasuo will chase for more, but that's probably not what we want to do. It will be the Ember Spirit to jump in with chains and clean up. That Sleight of Fist does so much damage to the Mirana, and Puck will also cleanly disengage. And of course I have to miss the Echo Slam because he runs off and does it fairly blindly up the hill, but you know what, BBC, they draw out all the ultimates for YellowSub. It's not the cleanest start of the engagement for them, but after all said and done, though they don't take any structures, they still have a relatively even team fight, and the Ember Spirit gets to live, and he will go for an Eye of Scotty. So Ember Spirit is getting really close to Slick Slotted, and he will have that soon enough, and once he has that, it's actually a bad thing for BBC, just because their Ember Spirit isn't going to get any stronger, at least not substantially so.
You can replace the Phase Boots with probably another Daedalus, maybe another Battle Fury if he really wants to go for it. But yeah, I am inclined to agree with you. They don't have a great way to deal with Mana Shield this game. No innate mana burn on them and no great Diffusal carriers either. So I think that now is kind of the time where they'd really like to be pushing high ground or at least pressuring YSub. But then again, YSub also aren't going to be getting much stronger as Dusa is going to be nearing that 6-slotted territory soon as well. She has enough money to complete up the Butterfly, and after that, it's only one slot.
And if Medusa's not getting any stronger, then really no one on YSub will be. I mean, Kunkka and Mirana usually are heroes that can be played in a pretty heavy farming role, but they're just in no position to be going towards that right now. It's going to mean like a 90-minute game at the very least if they want to get into that role. So Medusa being 6-slotted is pretty much the peak of YSub, with the exception of Refresher Orbs, which are actually not being built by the Warlock, is being built by the Tidehunter. I guess one is better than zero, right? So Refresher Orbs will represent another increase of power for YSub, but as far as the right-click damage is concerned, Medusa is pretty much at a point, or very close to a point, where she is just not going to get any more damage on the board, unless, of course, anyone wants to pick up the Rapier, which I don't think it's time for that for either side.
No, definitely not. And even if she got the Rapier, it's not very reliable to actually hold on to it, since you do have a Blink Abyssal Slark and plenty of damage on BBC. They could assassinate this Dusa, and if there's anything scarier than a Rapier Dusa, Rapier Emperor Spirit with Daedalus and Battle Fury might be a close second.
Especially since the Ember Spirit just refuses to die in every single fight. He gets his Sleight of Fist at the exact perfect time, and he doesn't even have a BKB to dodge the Ravage and the Boat and like all that other stuff, so he's doing a pretty good job in his positioning. Miracle, or YSub, they're going for the seemingly tastier targets that are more grouped up that don't include the Ember Spirit, and either way, it's the Ember Spirit to benefit. And we do see top lane, it's going to be the Mirana to get assassinated by mostly the Disruptor. Help from Yapzor, and now they're still up on top lane looking for blood, just two supports. Levi's going to get X though, and now he just might be dead. Torrent is there, follow-up damage, I mean it's not that high, but it's certainly enough, especially with the Boat coming in. We'll narrowly miss, but Levi's dead anyway. Yeah, I don't really know what you're doing there as two supports with your cores in the river. It's probably not a good idea, although Yapzor just really wants in right now. He has an Echo Slam, and he's itching to use it.
Definitely, he's not going to find an opportunity. Meantime, Ember Spirit's been still pushing bottom through the whole time with the double damage rune up on this Ember. That's really threatening. Miracle is going to go towards his Remnant in the mid-river area, and he gets a tier 3 tower for pretty much free as everybody else is occupied up towards top.
Miracle's critting, of course, with the double damage rune for 1200 damage, which is pretty darn good. He has his boots to sell, or one of his boots to sell, and then after that, I'm pretty sure Manta Style is going to be sold eventually. It's nice to have, of course, but when you're going for this pure green damage build of Daedalus Battle Fury, the illusions actually don't do that much damage, so Miracle should be looking to do that sometime soon. But for right now, BBC, they don't have their Static Storm. It is also Aghanim, their Static Storm, so they will not have that available right now. Miracle is going to jump in for a couple of illusion harassments onto the range Raxes. I don't think it's going to bother YSub that much, but man, if they let this happen too many times, like in 30 minutes or something, they're going to lose some buildings.
Yeah, they are. I mean, if you look at the range barracks in mid, that's about half damage, and the range barracks down bottom is down a third. Slowly but surely, they are being chipped away, and all it really takes is that slight edge before BBC might be able to take a fight on their own terms. However, YSub going to look to make an aggressive move. They're going to drop the Moonlight Shadow and set their sights down towards bottom, and if they catch out Miracle, this could be huge. They will have to commit a Ravage for it, and they're going to open up, pull up with the Torrent, Arrow going to connect, and they have the damage to bring down Miracle, or do they? He escapes! Oh my
Literally
goodness, this man just
unkillable.
can't die. Yeah, 14-1 and 14 this game. Having a wonderful performance.
Man, like, it looked like they were chain stunning him perfectly. You open up with a Ravage, you have an Arrow, you have a Torrent, but just not enough. Someone in the chat literally just asked, is I have Scotty even good on Ember Spirit? That's your answer right there. They're going to initiate onto F, drop him in a hurry, and Miracle's back now with full HP. He's going to go straight for the Kunkka. Gets slowed down by the Warlock ultimate, but that Warlock ultimate not doing really enough right now. Barash is dropping very low, and the Kunkka will be dropped first. The Ember Spirit's still at full HP, still at full mana, is going to catch Barash with some chains, and then a couple of click, 800 crit to finish the deal there. Slark is not even in this fight. It's just Miracle cleaning up, and my god, this guy is just on fire in more ways than one, and he's going to clean up the top lane, whereas the Slark has already taken the range Raxes down towards bottom, and YSub, they just don't have the heroes to defend up against this. They need so many more heroes to be alive right now. Miracle won't completely clean out the top lane, but that Rax is soon to fall. Padrinho has finished off the mid lane, and Yapsor going to finish up the top lane. I can't believe Miracle actually survived that, and he made YSub regret their slight misplay there. Having no Ravage means that they have no defense, and Miracle is going to put the rest of the damage into the last set of Raxes. This is going to be Megas soon enough, and this is going to be what looks like game signature. Going to get sheeped up. He's going to get bashed as well as caught in the Static Storm. Has no BKB available to him right now. He will get out of there in time. BKB now up to dodge the glimpse back, but he's already dead. Medusa has a buyback, but even if he does, he's going to be buying back into Megas. There's a Doctor on the field, and Ember Spirit, I mean, he clearly just can't die, so why not go for it? Blink forward, Echo Slam from Yapsor going to connect into the Tidehunter, finish him off. Medusa, Mirana, Warlock going to be the only ones left. Here comes Miracle with the Doctor signature, going to turn on the Stone Gaze. Miracle, you don't want to die right now. That would be hilariously terrible. And Miracle is going to be fine for now. YSub, they have heroes now alive to defend, but I don't even know if they have enough of what it takes to defend against Megas, especially up against a Divine Rapier Ember Spirit. This game seems like it just might be over.
Yeah, although I can't really knock the Divine Rapier much, I think Miracle might have just given them the best chance that they have to come back against Mega Creeps. Just killing off the Ember Spirit and then getting a Divine Dusa. I don't think it gets much better than that. Killing off the Ember Spirit, however, is a different story entirely. When he's critting for 1400, and that's without the bonus damage coming in from Sleight of Fist on heroes.
Yeah, and he's going to have an Aegis also, so, I mean, he hasn't really been dying at all, so now he's extra not going to be dying, and I don't think he's been getting the Aegis either. It's been Slark both times, so he doesn't even need the Aegis, clearly. Miracle is a god amongst men. He's going to slay Roshan within just a couple of hits, and there's no chance that YSub could actually defend against this, so Roshan down should be Manta Style swapped out for an Aegis, unless, okay, this is a little bit too much. Like, there's bold, and then there's this.
Yeah, ballsy, I think.
Yeah. I guess he just really wants his Manta Style, man. Even though illusions aren't going to get amplified by pretty much any of his inventory. I have Scotty, plus 25 damage. That's not really good.
Yeah, it's not great. I don't like this choice. I don't think it's going to cost them the game. They do have Megas, but they are playing in a manner that If they aren't careful, they could be
Miracle,
in for...
Don't. Just don't. Oh my god, this is... I mean, again, you said they are up against Megas. Dale's gonna whiff the Ravage! Oh no! Oh, he got clipped by the Sleight of Fist of Miracle, and now Bridon's going to reinitiate onto Signature, trying to force out an ultimate or two. He'll get the Warlock ultimate to pop his. Signature also is going to let loose of the Stone Gaze. Bridon taking a lot of damage, will be dropped, and Miracle's too far away to safely initiate. He's going to clean up the rest of the creep wave. Battle Fury cleaving through, will kill off a Warlock Golem. But BBC, they lose their Slark. They don't gain anything except for the ultimates being down. Signature's not having too much mana right now. Maybe BBC can go right now, but this is suddenly such an unnecessarily delicate game because of Miracle's purchase. It's going to be, as you said, the best chance for YSub to actually win against Megas.
Yeah. And yeah, Mask of Madness and Slark also not helping. Radiant's career is going to fall as they're able to snipe that over towards the left. Wasn't actually holding on anything, so that doesn't really matter much. BBC, they're occupying the enemy base. Medusa's still able to mop up these creeps, however, so it's not all wrong. Let's see. If there's actually going to be a fight breaking out, things could get hairy. They are going to X-Mark onto the Ember Spirit. He'll jump back, and that is going to disjoint the X, Torrent, and Boat combination, meaning the Ember is going to be just fine.
Alright, so this is going to be so slow and so painful. Yapzor, though, going to get caught with an Arrow Torrent combination. He's stuck in a slow. The Warlock Mask Carry also not healthy enough to reinitiate. He'll lose his Aegis right now, but Miracle still on the offset, still throwing those Sleights of Fists, and the Earthshaker will actually survive. I don't know how, but he did. He also has an Echo Slam, so he's looking to jump right back in, but at this point there are no creeps here because of Megas, so... Oh, there it is anyway. He's going to connect onto everyone with Miracle following up. That's 3 dead instantly, 2 buybacks, and Yapzor getting some serious value off of his Agnum Scepter now. He's going to run right into a boat, unfortunately. Actually, no Force Staff right through it. And now the Ancient is exposed. The Ember Spirit going to cleave through the Fountain as the Fissure is going to time out, but there's a wall of Megas here right now. And Miracle is trying to farm up the enemies. Look at the crits! Oh my god. PSM also going to get worked down in his own Fountain by the creeps. Miracle's going to dive the Fountain for good measure. And that is good game. I don't know if the Ancient exploded because they called GG or if the Mega Creeps done it, but that was some game, man. That was quite a game one to open up the Bridon Cup.
It definitely was. I really wanted to see BBC lose, not gonna lie, after going for that Divine, but I think getting that 4-man Echo with the Sleight of Fist Divine crits at that last fight kind of make up for it.
Alright guys, so this is going to be the first game of the Bridon Cup in the books. This is not going to be the end though. We have 2 more games, YellowSub versus Black and then BBC versus Black, so 3 heroes going to be doing rotation, or 3 teams going to be doing a rotation there. That will be coming up, should be in about 15 minutes. I don't know how close we're going to keep to the schedule, but either way, it will be coming up soon. I'm Mike Lars, I've been joined by Grandis V, and we will be right back shortly, guys.